What if this happened? Like, it's not your problem anymore. If it goes off, it's not your problem anymore. Your family gets a nice paycheck, and it's whatever.
When I worked for the food bank, I had a gentleman who worked with me who was a Vietnam veteran. His name was Mike. Mike had this huge fucking beard, aviators, a tattoo that said "fuck Vietnam," and his Vietnam hat. It was wintertime, and I got a call that a deer got fucking bodied by a snowplow, and it landed in front of the viewing window of like this 5-star restaurant, and they wanted us to come and collect it. Well, apparently from what the kitchen staff told us, that sitting in front of the window was like this vegan family, and the mom like flipped her bricks and told someone to call an ambulance for the deer because those exist.
What the fuck?
And so we show up in the truck that says food bank on it, and she's like, apparently what she said was, oh yay, they brought a truck, they're gonna save the animal. And at that moment, that's when Mike gets out with his rifle, bang, and just shoots it right in the head. He kills it, and we just hear this shrill scream from inside. Oh my god, they killed it! And then that's when he goes, oh, just wait and watch, Ryan, get the buckets. And then he reaches down to his thigh, pulls up his pant leg and takes his K-bar out and begins to dress the deer. Right
Oh my god!
right in front of the viewing window. And he's like, alright, just gotta get this out. Get all that, and save the horns, put all this in one bucket, put all this in the other bucket, and then at one point he took like the intestines and did this with them. And then put them in the bucket. We took all the deer parts and we were like, alright, and then he's like, Ryan, pour the kerosene on it. We took the organs, not the body. The body still had a good pelt, and I wanted that. I don't know if you know. As a Montanan, I'm not gonna waste a perfectly good pelt. We took that, and then we're like, you know what? We're hungry. Let's go eat here. We walk in, and that woman came to give us a piece of her mind. Vegan mom coming to save the fucking day. She's like, you could have saved that deer. You could have done something. You could have brought that thing back to health. I'm like, lady, all of its legs were broken. It had like a bunch of fractures in its spine. Its neck was going a different fucking direction. Like, we did that thing a kindness, you know? She's like, but you didn't have to shoot it in front of the viewing window. And that's when Mike gives this banger of a quote. This is America. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, wow. If you're deployed, so you don't like, so you imagine, right? You think, oh, well, okay, they generate all this garbage. Well, what they do in like Iraq and Afghanistan, places like that, Syria, they burn it. You'll have giant burn pits. So fucking tires, explosives, well, not explosives, but tires, fucking shit. Like, they'll just have giant, have you seen the movie The Outpost?
Yeah, I know. That guy has to go and basically pour kerosene on literally just shit.
It's, okay, so basically, if you're a fucking idiot and you get in trouble, you burn shit. If you're low ranking, you burn shit. And that's pretty much it. So they're just dudes who just burn shit. That's all they do. But now, if you do it, you get 30% disability from the army out of the gate for burning shit. And so they burn everything. Well, they also burn animals. Dogs will die outside. We'll go pick them up, and then we'll go burn them. Because you don't want the Taliban or somebody to go and stuff it full of explosives. Yeah, no, it's fucking gnarly. But you're talking about fucked up shit. Fucking one of my buddies, when he was in Iraq early on, the little kids, you know, would come around and they'd be like, oh, give me chocolate, you know, give me chocolate. He used to give out chocolate, and then they had to stop doing that because the Taliban started getting the kids. They'd run up, and they'd run up real quick, and they'd be like, chocolate, 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 and they'd be like, no, 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 and when the soldiers look away, they'd jump up, and they'd try to pull the pin out of a frag grenade on their kit. So they had, like, you know, frag grenades and pouches on your chest, and so they'd fucking, the kids would be like, oh, give me chocolate, they'd get close to you, and they'd jump up, and they'd try to pull the pin out of a frag grenade on your kit. I had a buddy of mine who had that happen to him, where a kid tried to jump up and, like, pull the pin on a frag grenade, like, it was like a 6-year-old kid. Because, I mean, they would do that. They would, 4 or 5-year-olds, hey, go jump up and grab that pin. They'd show them on a, you know, like a Russian grenade, and then tell them to run up to us and try to pull the pin out. And he's like, dude, I had this 6-year-old run up, try to pull the pin, and he's like, I just instant reaction. He's like, it's called a barrel thump. Like, if I come into a room and you're like standing right there and I need to get into this room, I just hit you square in the face or the chest with the end of the barrel. He was like, 6-year-old kid, man, just boop, just barrel thump this kid. Break this fucking kid's nose at 6 years old or whatever. He's like, what the fuck, man?
A bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch did me in. Had me down bad. I thought I was lactose. I was like, oh no, I'm lactose now. But it wouldn't stop. It was 12 hours like past, and my stomach was still burning like really bad. And it went down my stomach to where my appendix was. It was so bad. And then I went to sleep, woke up like at 2 a.m. because it happened like at 12 p.m. like lunchtime, and it went all the way up till like 2 a.m. I'm like, I woke up my parents. I'm like, yo, y'all gotta take me because I'm dying right now. They took me to the hospital. They did blood work, CAT scan, and then they gave me like narco, so like hydrocodone, painkiller. I wasn't really feeling any pain after that once it kicked in. I was like, yeah, I'm cool. Like I thought it was like some like a stomach ulcer or something. They looked at me and they're like, yeah, you have acute appendicitis. I was like, they're like, you need emergency surgery. I was like, oh. No!
Ow.
They did 3 incisions. They did a laparoscopic surgery. Basically, 3 incisions. One for the camera, one for the blade to make the incision to cut the appendix out, and then one for to blow up my stomach. They literally blow up your stomach with air. I woke up in my stomach. I kid you not. I looked like I was pregnant.
Oh.
I woke up and they're like, yeah, you're gonna have to walk this off because the gas, all the air that was in my stomach, I had to walk it off and either, fart it out or burp it out. I felt like I was the only young person in the hospital.
Maybe it is only 56.
Everyone else is like 50, 60. I'm out here like, I'm 21. I'm like the youngest, and all the nurses are looking at me hella funny because I had to take laps around my floor. I'm out here in a little gown. Booty naked,
Doing laps.
booty out, taking laps. Nurses cheering me on, like it was hilarious, yo.
I'm an aircraft mechanic though, so I just fix jets and stuff. I've worked on the F-16 fighter aircraft, and then also the A-10. If you know of the A-10, the big gun, I'm a specialist for anything electrical and environmental. So like wiring, power generators, like landing gear.
Do you not get like injured?
I mean, you can. I mean, an aircraft is definitely a hunk of metal, and you're only a human. So if you hit that motherfucker the wrong way, it's definitely winning every time. I know some friends with some scars on the top of their head and whatnot, just from like hitting parts of the jet. It was actually funny. I was when I was in Korea for a year. This brand new crew chief, and like crew chiefs, it's like another specialty. He just got there. He wasn't even there for 2 weeks, and we do these exercises where we wear chem gear and whatnot. We sound the alarm on base, basically as like a simulation, as if North Korea were to try and attack us with toxic gases and whatnot. And we're going to lock down the aircraft shelter, and there's a side door people can walk in and whatnot. And he goes to close it, not really realizing it, but his thumb is in the gap of the door, and he shuts this huge metal door on his thumb and just straight cuts off his thumb. Thankfully, though, I mean, so my homie was in the same paths as him. He actually was able to help suppress the bleeding enough to where they got him to the hospital and got the finger back on, and he actually ended up. The crew chief went to Hawaii for a couple of months for rehabilitation of his thumb, and it works again. They sewed it back and made sure all the nerve endings are back on there. I mean, I'm sure it's not fully, functional, but it's definitely on there.
Me and my band, we were on the way to Florida for Disney World, right? And when we were passing through Alabama, the bus driver caught a heart attack, and we went 50 feet into a ravine. The bus driver died, and that was the only fatality of the entire ordeal. It was very, very traumatic. We were all transported to a nearby hospital. Yeah, but yeah, you guys could probably read the story on a news outlet. There was the shock of what happened, but there was no PTSD or anything, bad dreams and such. But overall, I'm all right of the experience.
How long did it take for paramedics and everything to show up?
It didn't take that long for paramedics, but it took hours for our parents to get there.
A charter bus taking high school students home from a trip to Disney World plunged off a bridge into a ravine in Alabama early on Tuesday, killing the driver and injuring several others. Yeah, I found it.
Yep.
Damn.
Holy shit.
A lot of people have like unnatural fears of stuff. You know, like, oh, I'm super scared of spiders no matter like what, you know. I have a non-fear of explosives to the point where like we would be working on stuff with new guys and they'd be like, what if this happened? I'm like, it's not your problem anymore. If it goes off, it's not your problem anymore. Like, your family gets a nice paycheck and it's whatever. Because there's nothing you can do really. So you just gotta make sure you do your job right. I've met some of the greatest people I've ever met. I've also met some of the worst people ever in the military. This one fucked me up pretty bad. I had a buddy. We were good friends. We lived in the same dorm rooms, and then we both got married. So he got married to his girl, I got married to my girl. And then my girl's pregnant. So I have 2 kids, love them both. My girl's pregnant with her first kid, right? And then my buddy gets pulled in by OSI, which is you ever see NCIS? Yeah, it's Navy CSI. They pull him in, and I'm like, what the hell? Why is OSI pulling in my buddy? He's in there for a full day. I have no idea what's going on. I'm asking people. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on. So eventually, he gets out. I'm asking him. He's like, oh, I posted this thing on Pornhub of me and this girl when we were in high school. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot, dude. And then OSI pulls me in. I'm like, I didn't fucking do anything. But they were pulling in all of his old roommates because we all lived in the same dorms. And they were asking me, like, what kind of porn is he into? Has he ever been alone with kids? And all that shit. And I was like, I don't fucking know what kind of porn this dude's into. Like, I don't fucking know. Well, they let me go. And after I got pulled in, I was like, I'm not fucking with him anymore. I'm done. I didn't know shit, so I didn't tell him shit. I got a kid on the way. I got to worry about me. Turns out, when it all was said and done, he's now serving 5 years in prison because he had over 1,000 images of child pornography on his phone and on his computer. And he's lucky that he never came back to like work because we would have fucking killed that dude. So the reason so he posted a video on Pornhub of him and an ex-girlfriend when she was 17. So she called up, hey, this dude posted pornographic images of me when I was a minor. So OSI immediately, you know, they have to investigate. So they grab all of his electronics because it's a child pornography charge, providing child pornography to the internet at that point. And when they confiscated everything, they found thousands of images of little kids on his shit. You know how I mentioned, like, I have 2 kids. Well, my first kid, I should have 3. My wife miscarried our first baby. And, it took a huge mental toll on me. Obviously, for obvious reasons. And I felt like I had to be, you know, kind of strong for my wife because she's the one that had to go through that. And I was just kind of like the bystander. And, you know, obviously it hurt me, but I had to cope with it, like, I don't want to say separately because she was there for me, but I felt like I had to do it separately, like on my own. In the military, I was super excited. I told everybody at work. I was like, I'm having a kid. I'm having a kid. And she miscarried. And I called work. It was like a Wednesday. And they gave me Thursday and Friday off, and I was back at work on Monday. And working 12-hour shifts all day, and I would have to leave my wife, you know, crying at home, and come home to her crying at home, you know. And my wife has like depression and stuff, and you know, that was just really hard. And I mean, I had some great people there, but the supervisors weren't too awesome. And in the military, they're involved in every aspect of your life. That's what they don't tell you when you sign up, is like they control everything you do, and they have a hand in everything you do. When my buddy got pulled in by OSI, my supervisor went and took pictures of my house. I was like, no, you can't fucking take pictures of my house. And he was like, well, I have to. So he went into my house and literally took pictures of every room in my house. They said it was a complaint about cleanliness, and I was pissed. And when he walked in, I was like, so is my house fucking dirty? And he was like, no. And I was like, well, then why the fuck are you here? And I was super angry. But I got super, super down with the miscarriage, and had a super awful shop chief, and I was inches away from going to mental health and being like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to be alive anymore. But luckily, I had a buddy who pulled me into this is super nerdy, but we're on VR chat, so y'all can suck it. He put me into a D&D group, and I had never played D&D before, and that kind of pulled me out of the depression. Just having something to look forward to every weekend. Like every Saturday, we'd go and play for like 4 or 5 hours, and I'd bring my wife along, and she would just sit and watch, and that kind of pulled me out of my little slump there. And I still talk to the guy that did that, and we haven't seen each other in 2 years, and we still talk every day. Ask him how he's doing. He bought me a whole bunch of stuff because he just came back from deployment, made a whole bunch of money, bought me a whole bunch of stuff for this baby. We just had a baby this week, my son, and yeah, what I've learned is life is really hard, and I was kind of raised to deal with it and put up with it yourself. And the military is kind of the same way, or it was. It's not that much anymore. Just deal with your problems and suck it up. But what I've learned is you kind of need people and you need social interaction to get through things, and people will listen and they want to hear your stories. So even VR chat, like moving to Texas and not knowing anybody here, I kind of jumped into VR and met people online, and they kind of became friends, you know? That's pretty much my life story as of right now.
The rain never came, so I made with the sun to shade. Always comes at the worst times. Whoa. You asked me what I'm thinking about. I told you that I'm thinking about whatever you're thinking about. Tell me something that I forget, and you might have to tell me again. It's crazy what you do for a friend. Go ahead and cry, little